Hola from Barcelona. What is up, guys? I just am sitting here in this beautiful park in Barcelona, and been contemplating and just praying and just kind of just taking in the beauty of things. And these cities are amazing. But I got a message from my niece, and I really want to clarify some things because she had questions about, because I used the word flow in my video talking about getting out of the flow of things and get dirty and get grinding to the nitty-gritty of things to make things happen in your life. So I just really want to clarify, because earlier I'd posted a video about working in flow and trusting the process of things. That means sometimes you have to trust the process of what's going on, because you have zero control of what's happening. You can't control everything that happens, so you've got to trust the process. When things don't go the way that you planned them, you've got to trust that there's a reason for it, or it just happens that way because that's what life deals with sometimes. Sometimes the process is about learning and having a learning situation, right? So when I was in Paris and I was talking about getting out of the comfort zone of life and getting away from things that you're just very comfortable, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, you're making $10 an hour when you could go to school and study for 6 months and learn a trade and be able to make $20 an hour. Sometimes we just stick in comfort zones of life that it's just because you're comfortable and you don't want to shake, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to work hard, you're lazy. It's just really what it comes down to, and or you're just that happy. And hey, if making $10 an hour is making you happy, then stick to it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no judgment on that. But sometimes if you want something greater in your life, you got to work hard for it. No, not sometimes. If you want something great in your life, you got to work hard for it at all times. There's no question about that. Good Lord, these flies. So I wanted to clarify the wording in that, but I also wanted to just share with you guys that, another question she asked me was, how do you know when something's not right? Or when do you know when to stop? Or when to get off of the rat race that you're on? Your heart knows. You have to trust your heart. And some of you don't know how to trust your heart yet. And, but here's the thing. I guarantee you, when they were building the Eiffel Tower and the designer came up with that design, and I'm sorry I don't know my history about all that stuff, but when he was designing that, or she was designing that and building that, I'm sure people looked at them like they were crazy. Like, you are not going to create this, you're not going to build this thing, this is not going to work. And they said, watch me, we are going to make it work. And what did they do? It's one of the biggest things in Europe to come to, is people want to go to the Eiffel Tower in Paris to see this beautiful structure. So sometimes you're going to get told no a million times, but you have to trust your gut. You got to trust what you love, and you stick with it. Do not get off of that rat race. You keep going, because it is in your heart of hearts. Now, sometimes we stick in things and we keep going and going, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, and we're working 24/7 and it is not getting us anywhere in life. Here's the thing, if it's not fulfilling your heart, then it is not the right thing. If your heart is not in it, your heart doesn't love it. It's like these kids who go to LA and they audition, and they will audition 6 to 10 times a week, driving in 45 minutes to an hour and a half traffic to get to an audition. They have to go to coaching during the day, go to this audition, and not book anything for 6 months to a year. That's because they love it. They don't question it. It's one of those things they absolutely love, and they just, there's no question about it. It's their heart of hearts. That's what they're going to do. So if something's in your heart, you stick with it. But if it's not in your heart, get out of it. If it's not truly, if you're not happy, then it's the wrong thing. If you don't wake up in the morning loving what you do, getting out there and hustling and doing something, when I love something, I can work 24/7 and it does not faze me. I'm getting zero sleep. I'm looking tired like a hot mess, but I am so happy and excited about doing what I do. But when I lose that love for it, that's when I know that either I got to get out of it. No, I'm going to get out of it, or like sometimes I don't want to say that that's a definite answer for everybody, because sometimes we're in a relationship and we feel like the relationship's over because, you know, things aren't working or whatever. But sometimes you got to push through those things to fall back in love with what you know, you need new inspiration to fall in love. So, you know, it's like I worked for 20 years creating rock stars in LA, and you know, I never got tired of that, never exhausted from it, and I really still love it. But I was getting burnt out, and you know, me going to Bali and changing my heart and my soul gave me new energy and new life, and you know, really I've shifted where, you know, where that's taken me, but I still love developing artists. I love creating talent. I love creating shows. I'm just going to do it at a different level. I'm going to do it a different way, and do it that benefits humanity rather than one single person. So, you know, I just shifted things. I'm not changing. I'm not, you know, I'm still in entertainment, and I love what I do, and I love working with people and doing things, but you know, I just had to shift. So it doesn't mean that you have to get out of something when you're exhausted. It means that you may need to be rejuvenated and re-energized, and there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope that cleared up some things, understanding what the flow is, and good Lord, these flies. Understanding what the flow is, and understanding to trust a process of things that you have zero control over. That's one thing. Number two, that is getting out of a comfort zone and just going with the flow at all times, because if you go with the flow at all times, you're never going to get anywhere. The only way to achieve greatness is to have direction. You have goals set, that you've got to get up every single morning and you've got a list of things that you're going to do. That's the way you reach greatness, and that is working 24/7 at it. It's not an easy job, but if you love it and you know it's in your heart of hearts, then stick with it. But if it's not in your heart of hearts, you need to get off of that spinning wheel that you're on and go a different direction. Shift it, change it, so that you can fall in love with it again, or go a different direction.